Nirvana or moksha. I have been delaying to make a video on this topic for a long time, primarily because even the most learned and self realized sadhus and amazing people believe that their understanding of nirvana or moksha is somewhat incomplete. Then I am such a basic and starting learner. Yet, I thought that making a video about an introduction of what and why of Nirvana based on my understanding of Advaita philosophy and Vaishnava philosophy would be fair. So, for thousands of years, millions of people have left their homes and went to mountains, forests in heat and cold, in bad weather, in bad condition, without food and water, to realize this particular state called nirvana or moksha. The greatest of great men like Gautam Buddha, Swami Vivekananda, Adi Shankaracharya have believed that this state is the ultimate answer, is the ultimate state that a human can achieve. So, what is nirvana? What is moksha? And why is it so desirable in Eastern philosophy? Nirvana or moksha is another word for mukti. Mukti means freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from suffering. Now you might think that all these people have been running around for decades, writing books, writing theories, working so hard, and believing that nirvana is the aim just to end their suffering. They couldn't find an end to their suffering in the world. You might think that my end to suffering is when I get rich. My end to suffering is when I get that job. My end to suffering and my happiness is when I marry that girl. You might think so, that your happiness is outside of you. Most of humans, most of regular humans believe that happiness is something that they will attain when they will get this or that. For you, I have an example. Running behind happiness outside of you is like you are a rat and you are running behind cheese which is tied to a cat. Think about it. Has it ever happened that you have actually achieved happiness from something that happened outside? Well, I'll give you an example. Think about a time which you thought that if this thing happens, if this situation happens, or if I visit to this particular place, I will be really happy. But at that time, something happened in your mind and your mind was pinching you. You weren't at that place, and that's why you weren't happy. Even in the situation which you still believe is the source of your happiness. So, now you know that in the end, actually, in reality, the source of our suffering and the source of our happiness both is our mind. A person who is situated in mukti, a person who is a yogi, his mind is continuously situated in the Supreme, in Paramatma. Sri Krishna says that a person who realizes that he, that is the Brahma or Paramatma, is present in him and everywhere in the cosmos. Like air fills up space, Paramatma is present in everything. The person who experiences, the person who realizes the presence of Paramatma, of Brahma within him, nothing can affect that person. That person attains moksha. It is a common misconception that people believe that moksha is attained after death. Mukti or moksha or nirvana is something that we attain in this life by knowledge, by understanding, by empathy, and by bhakti. You might have heard the concept of everybody is God and you are the source of your own happiness so many times. Yet, you might think that it didn't make a difference in my life. I haven't attained mukti. So, for you, The answer is there is a difference between knowing and realizing. Imagine a person who realizes the divine consciousness within him, the person who realizes that Paramatma inside whom every universe resides, who is the source, the maintainer and destroyer of the entire universe, resides inside him, and he can experience it. Do you think that person would be affected by anything that happens in this birth? Mukti, a person who has attained Mukti has accessed the source of Paramanand, which is in Satchidanand. Satchidanand is the name given to Atma and also Paramatma. Chidanand, Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. This Chidanand is Atma, which has been always there and which will always be there, and which is the source of true Ananda, not something that you experience in your life due to sansaric happiness, worldly happiness. This person who understands the Chid root of his own existence. Chid means the one who has always been there and will always be there, and is the source of all knowledge, the knower, and Ananda. He will not be disturbed by the things which happen in this life or any other life if he takes it, which he will not, because it is believed in Hindu Dharma that a person who has attained this state will not be reborn in any of the lokas and will attain Paramatma. This person knows that his existence as this particular identity is very small in comparison to cosmic scale. I heard an amazing sadhu once say that a person who has attained mukti experiences the happiness and distress of life the way normal humans experience the happiness and distress in movies. If you think about it, you will understand that we do get sad when we look at movies, right? When something bad happens in a movie, we get sad, but we don't suffer. Why? Because we know that we are not that person. That is not our identity. We are just viewing it. Similarly, a person who has attained nirvana understands that the things happening to him, be it physical or mental or emotional, are happening to his outward identity, which are either fake identity as believed in as believed in Advaita philosophy, or Prakriti, a part of Paramatma's inferior energy as believed in Vaishnavism. Either way, these things happening to him are not really happening to him, his soul, that who he is, who he actually is. Hence, he is not affected by them. Another great man once said that our body and this our self, our identity which we believe, is like a fabric of balloon. We are filled with air and outside it is air. Air means Paramatma. Just like inside a balloon there is air and outside also there is air, similarly we have Paramatma inside us and outside us as well. When a person realizes this truth, he attains mukti. Another statement that came to my mind when I was meditating was that when you understand, when you realize that the chatter of the mind is as insignificant as the chatter outside, as the noise outside, you will start on the path of mukti. Now you might think that a person who is equal in happiness or distress, pain, sadness, everything, he is equal. He is experiencing the ultimate happiness. He will become inactive. He will not do his job. Actually, the opposite is true. People like this, amazing people who have become one with Paramatma, like Gautam Buddha, Adi Shankaracharya, Vivekanand, actually do the most for humanity, because their actions are not done for their selfish reasons. there is nothing in this world that can make them happy because they are already experiencing Paramananda. Whatever they do it in the form of Karma Yoga. For this, whatever their action is, it is done for the greater good, for the greater good of all living beings. Hence, they are the greatest Karma Yogis. Sri Krishna says that all kinds of yoga, be it Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, or Kriya Yoga, all of these have their aim as Nirvana. So, in this video, I have discussed the what and why to the introduction of Nirvana. Of course, it is a very vast topic. In fact, the most vast topic in Eastern philosophy, all of Eastern religions. I will make further videos based on how of Nirvana, based on different Eastern philosophies like Advaita Vedanta, Vaishnavism, Bheda Vedanta, and even other Eastern religions. If you want to support my effort in bringing the past knowledge, in bringing the ancient knowledge of our scriptures back to modern India, please do subscribe to my channel. It is not monetized. It is just my dharma. It is my duty, as I believe it. Hence, I am trying to spread this knowledge. Do consider sharing my videos and subscribing to my channel, which is by my name, Harshita Vishwakarma. Thank you so much. Jai Siya Ram.